My people, listen closely and listen until the end, because what I reveal today is not just about me, not just about a piece of paper or a warrant. They want to scare me. They want to intimidate me. They want to use their stamps, their signatures, their letters from distant European offices to weaken my resolve. But they are wrong, dead wrong, because no signature in Paris, no court in Brussels, no order from Interpol can touch the heart, the will, the determination of a people who have endured centuries of slavery, of exploitation, of colonialism, and still rise with fire in their souls. They call it justice. They call it law. But what it truly is, what it has always been, is fear, control, and greed wrapped in legal masks. And when they say Interpol has issued a warrant against Ibrahim Traoré, against Burkina Faso, what they are really saying is that France and its Western allies are terrified of an Africa that no longer bows, no longer begs, no longer accepts chains disguised as treaties or handouts, because they have always seen Africa not as a land of free nations, but as a treasure chest to plunder, a warehouse of gold, uranium, cotton, oil, and endless wealth to fuel their industries while leaving our people in misery. And for decades they succeeded, placing puppets in power, leaders who sold everything, the land, the resources, even the dignity of their own people, for a seat at a table in Paris, in Brussels, in Washington, signing contracts that filled foreign banks while emptying African villages. And now when a new generation rises, when Burkina Faso says no more, when we say that our gold, our manganese, our zinc, our future belongs not to them but to us, suddenly they panic, suddenly they issue papers, suddenly they pretend it is about law, about order, about global security, when in reality it is only about one thing: stopping Africa from realizing its true strength. My people, understand this: Burkina Faso is not poor. It is rich beyond measure, sitting on resources that could transform us into a nation wealthier than many Arab states, wealthier than many European nations. But they do not want us to wake up to this reality. They want us dependent. They want us begging for loans. They want us using their CFA franc that chains our economy to their banks. They want us trapped in debt while our children migrate, while our farmers suffer, while our youth despair, because dependency is their greatest weapon. But we say no. We are awake, we are not asleep, and we will not repeat the mistakes of our past. I will not lead Burkina Faso into submission so that a foreign power can write more zeros into its accounts while our people starve. I will not allow our sovereignty to be reduced to a puppet show staged in European capitals. And I will not allow fear to rule us. They say protection, but whose protection is it? Not ours, because their bases, their troops, their so-called missions are not shields for Africa. They are fortresses to protect their pipelines, their gold, their companies, their power. But today we break the chain. Today we say French influence ends here, Western dominance ends here, Africa's humiliation ends here. We are building our own industries, our own factories, our own roads, our own schools and hospitals, powered not by charity, but by the wealth beneath our soil and the brilliance of our youth. We are investing in our miners, our farmers, our engineers. And every project we create is designed to serve our people, not enrich a foreign shareholder. Do not forget our history. My people leaders before us signed away our future. They smiled as they sold us for scraps. And yes, they were rewarded with luxury abroad, but the people were left in ashes. But I will not, I cannot, I will not betray you. This fight is not just about economics, it is about dignity, about respect, about the soul of Africa, because they want to control not just our minds, but our politics, our media, our schools, our culture. They want to shape our youth into consumers of their products, soldiers for their wars, slaves to their systems. But we are reclaiming the pen. We are writing our own story, and this story is not one of submission but of resistance, not one of weakness but of awakening. Across Africa, the youth are rising. Alliances are being built, not to serve Paris or Washington, but to strengthen Ouagadougou, Bamako, Niamey, and every capital that dares to stand tall, and every time they send a threat, every time they issue a warrant, every time they sanction or spread propaganda, it only proves we are on the right path. Because if our rise did not terrify them, they would not try so hard to stop us. My people, we remember every ounce of gold stolen, every deal signed in smoke-filled rooms, every time our dignity was traded away, and now we say never again. We are transforming our resources into power, our minerals into schools, our soil into factories, our courage into a new economy, and no Interpol warrant, no foreign law, no intimidation can stop this. Burkina Faso will rise, and when it does, Africa will rise, because this is not about one man. This is not about Ibrahim Traoré. It is about a continent finally reclaiming its future, a people saying enough to centuries of plunder, a nation declaring that its destiny will never again be signed away. They thought a piece of paper could silence us. They thought a stamp could erase us. They thought fear could divide us. They are wrong, dead wrong, and history will remember this moment. Not as the day Burkina Faso bowed, but as the day Africa rose, unafraid, unstoppable, unbroken.